Hey there, WYD. Hey, welcome to OnlineForLove, your #1 resource for dating by the numbers. Today we're going to be going over how to successfully slide into the DMs without being weird. But before I dive headfirst into that subject, you should definitely make sure to check out our free online dating app quiz. So this quiz will actually pair you with your perfect online dating site or dating app. It's quick, easy, fun, and totally free. It's going to pair you with your perfect online dating site, so you have to check it out. It's going to be linked above me and found in the description down below. So go ahead and take the quiz, then come on back here and comment below what your results are, because we would love to know. While you're at it, do not forget to check out our free online dating opener formula. So this is actually going to triple your response rate on any dating app or dating site that you use it on. So this is great when you want to get that perfect first message out. It completely crafts it for you. No brainer. So make sure to check it out. Again, it's totally free. That's going to be linked above me and found in the description down below. Alright, so without further ado, let's talk about getting down in the DMs. How do you slide into them without being weird? But first off, if you don't know what this means, sliding into the DMs means that you are actually sending a personal message to somebody on a social media account most of the time. Usually the context is Instagram, possibly Twitter. And what happens is that people will shoot their shot. They will come on to somebody, they will try to get to know them, ask them out, sort of use the DMs as a dating app in and of itself. And basically, if you get some sort of flirty DMs, that means that that person has slipped into your DMs and you have the choice whether or not to respond to them. Alright, so let's get into some crucial tips on how to actually be successful with sliding into the DMs. And by successful, I mean you actually get to talking to that person. Hopefully down the road, you might even exchange numbers, go on a date, become boyfriend, girlfriend, or girlfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, boyfriend, etc. Maybe you get married, have kids. Okay, just kidding. But what I mean by success is that you actually get some sort of conversation started. Okay, so let's get into the first tip that we have here for you, and that is to follow them first and wait for them to follow you back. Now, if you have followed them and they followed you back, you might just be in the clear. And you know, I think that sliding into the DMs is probably a desired thing at this point by both parties, possibly. At least it gives you more of a chance if that person did follow you back, because honestly the chances of getting a response become lower if they are not actually following you back. It's just the way it is. And beyond that, just thinking about the way that different social media sites set up their messaging systems, a lot of times for the people who are following someone who they're not following them back, their message actually might get sent to a message request folder. Your chances of actually communicating with that person you're interested in get lower and lower if they're not actually following you back, because the algorithm is not going to think that you know each other, and it's going to sort of act accordingly to your mail, to your DMs to them. So we all know that it's not always easy to get your crush to follow you back on social media, but maybe it could be a little bit easier with you. If you're enjoying this content so far, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. So it really helps us out when you give our videos a thumbs up, because that shows YouTube that people are enjoying our content. So then YouTube pushes our videos out for more people to see. So we would really appreciate your thumbs up and your subscriptions. Alright, so the second tip to keep in mind when you are sliding into somebody's DMs is to actually come forward with something to say off the bat. So you don't want to come in with some useless few words. You don't want to come in with nothing to say. Come in hot with some good topics to talk about, because think about this, you are just sending a random message to somebody who you may or may not have ever talked to before. So you should come in with something to actually have a conversation with. So brush up on your conversation skills. Try to think about what might be a good message to talk to them about that could spark something of interest on their end as well. And yeah, come forward with something that has actually taken you a little bit of thought to prepare. Ask a question, bring up a topic that you know that they are interested in, just something a little bit more than some sort of one word thing, which will bring us to our next tip, which is to not just say hey or WYD or some of those specific short responses, but especially if you just say hi or hey, the chance of you getting ignored is so astronomical. It's almost like not saying anything at all. So this is a very typical DM. A lot of people get lots of messages in their DMs that just say literally hey or hi. And again, it's such a high chance of getting ignored. It's really like you never even sent a message at all. So definitely avoid like the plague just the word hey or hi. It's not enough. It's not the start of a conversation. It's not the start of anything. So just leave the one word hey alone. The next tip is to not treat the DMs like a dating app, because they're not. If you are cold turkey messaging somebody on some sort of social media, maybe it's Instagram, Twitter, whatever, this is not a dating app. That person did not sign up to be part of that. So again, you are taking a sort of leap of faith by establishing that contact with that context, which they might not even be aware of. So the tactics that you will use will be a bit different, because if you are on a dating site or dating app, there's already an established understanding and reason why you guys are both on that site. So if you are on Tinder and you message somebody, the understanding is that you guys have both already swiped right on each other. You both already have some sort of attraction and mutual agreement that you might be sending and receiving messages to each other, and possibly more than that down the road be a date or something like that. But on social media, no one has signed up for anything of that sort. This is, again, not a dating site, so don't expect any kind of answer at all, and especially don't accept your romantic reaches to be reciprocated or even liked. So it is better to approach in a different way with the DMs. Maybe you should really be focusing on starting some sort of dialogue rather than actually thinking about dates or something more romantic, because again, it's just not inherently the place to find that. But when you are on any dating sites or dating apps, the best way to get someone's attention is to use our free online dating opener formula. So this is actually going to triple your response rates on a host of different dating sites and dating apps. It's really easy, it's free, so do not forget to check out our free opener formula. That's going to be linked above me and in the description down below to help you out the next time you're sending that first message on an actual dating site or dating app. Okay, so the next tip for you about sliding into someone's DMs is to not be too thirsty. So you might have a crush on them, you might really like them, you might want to get to know them, but that doesn't mean that you have to like every one of their posts the second they post it. Doesn't mean you have to comment 5 times on every post either. It doesn't mean you have to send them a DM every hour. Just make sure not to take it a little bit too far. And sometimes you can actually do that without even trying to. So on different social media sites, like for example, Instagram, if somebody posts often, maybe they do post a few times a day even. You could be tempted to like and comment on every single one of them, but the thing is that can quickly turn into overkill and actually sort of numb you out in their mind, because they might just associate you with being a fan of theirs and not someone who they'd actually like to, pursue some sort of romantic interest or get to talking to, because they just think that you are a little bit of obsessive fan or something like that. And also, by me saying don't be too thirsty in your approach here, of course this means don't overly send messages or likes, etc. But you also want to just make sure that your messages aren't extremely overly sexual or inappropriate or just desperate sounding. So make sure that when you're sending the DMs to somebody, you want it to be sort of flirty for sure, but maybe something that sparks a conversation. You don't need to go into them just, talking about everything that you like about them physically or anything that can come off as just a bit desperate, because that is a great way to get ignored. That will actually go smoothly into our next tip, which is to not be creepy at all. So again, sometimes you can come off creepy without even trying to with social media. Again, if you are just liking all of their posts, but they happen to post a lot, it could come off a little bit stalkerish even if you don't intend to, but sometimes you can do things that could be intentionally sort of creepy. So don't send any photos of yourself unsolicited. Don't say anything that is really hypersexual when you've never even had contact with them before. Just keep in mind that this person is just on their social media. They may or may not know you or have ever talked to you before. You are probably just cold messaging them, right? So you have to sort of soften your approach here. Don't go in with guns blazing, because you will definitely scare them away, possibly get yourself blocked. Question of the day: what is your top tip when sliding into somebody's DMs? So if you have slid into someone's DMs before and you've had success with it, what are some of your top tips? Or maybe you're someone who people are often sliding into your DMs, so what are some top tips that you can give for people, being on the receiving end of the attention? Leave all your tips and anecdotes and everything about sliding into the DMs in the comment section down below. We love to hear from you. So the next tip that we have for you is to not get carried away. So just be sure to remember that you don't actually know this person if you've never spoken to them or met them before. So, if you do end up following somebody on all of their social media, maybe you're following them on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere, it can actually be a little bit easy to form some sort of parasocial relationship where you actually believe that they are your friend already. The thing is, if if you are following somebody and watching their stuff, maybe you've been, subscribed to them or a fan of them for a long time, you are familiar with them. So you have some familiarity with the things that they choose to post and the things that they choose to share. The thing is, though, that they don't have that same familiarity with you unless, you have this mutual thing going on where you are actually following each other and maybe have been for a while. But, if saying that's not the case, saying this person hasn't been following you back for a long time, then you only know things about them. They don't know really things about you. So it's not an equal footing. And also keep in mind that the things that they choose to post are not entirely them all the time, right? I mean, posting on social media is just a glimpse into somebody's lives, a very curated small portion of what they're choosing to show and editing and making it perfect. So you don't really know them, and the things that you do know probably outweigh and outnumber what they know about you. So just keep in mind this unequal footing here, and don't get carried away by thinking that you actually are already friends or something, because it can feel like that with creators online because you have been, consuming so much of their content. But that's not the case. You don't know them, you never talk to them, and they might know nothing about you. So just keep all of those things in mind and don't get carried away with the illusion that you already know them just by following them. The next tip we have for you is to keep the conversation going. So let's say you are successful, you slid into somebody's DMs, they've responded back to you, and now you are talking. The next thing you have to worry about is actually keeping that conversation going. So don't plan on sending a message and maybe thinking they'll probably never get back to you. And if they do, you have no idea what to say now and you fumbled the bag. So make sure to, have some sort of idea of where this conversation can go and keep up the conversation and put an effort to actually make something happen here. Because if they do respond back to you, maybe follow you back, and they would like to get to know you, now is the time for your personality to shine and for you to actually, get going with this whole thing. Keep the ball rolling. If you reached out first, then hopefully you'll be able to sort of guide the conversation into a way that can help it to flourish. So make sure that you are ready and prepared with some great conversation skills to actually keep this thing going if they do respond back to you. And the next tip, sort of in the same vein, if they are responding back to you, things are going well, be prepared to ask for their number and eventually get out of the DMs. So, the social media probably shouldn't be your main form of communication. I mean, no problem if it is, but a lot of people would probably like to progress from the DMs to, receiving actual phone numbers or WhatsApp or however their preferred method of talking is. So be prepared to take things out of the DMs. This can actually help you out in a lot of ways. Just the simple act of talking to someone on their actual phone number through text versus being in their DMs can really help elevate your position in their life, even just however slightly, because it removes you from being a fan on their social media to actually being a friend in their contacts list. And the last tip that we have for you is to be realistic. So, I've already talked about the fact that you don't really know this person. They really don't know you, especially if it's just been a one-sided following thing where you've seen things of them and they haven't seen anything of you so far. So be realistic with this whole thing. Again, this is not a dating site. This is a social media site that you are sliding into their DMs. They didn't ask for romantic pursuits. They didn't ask for someone to message them hoping for conversation, and they don't owe you a response, and you might not get one. So just be prepared and be realistic about it, and don't get your hopes super high that they will talk to you, but definitely go for it. You should go for it, because if you're into somebody, you should reach out and try to see where it can go. Absolutely, there's nothing wrong with that, and I encourage you to do so, just with a level head on your shoulders, taking all of our tips into account, hoping for the best, doing it in the right way, and hopefully they will respond back. But if they don't, you understand and you will move on to the next. But that's going to just about wrap up this video. I hope that you enjoyed it and found it helpful. Do not forget to check out our free online dating app quiz, which is quick, fun, easy, totally free, and now it's going to be linked above me and found in the description down below. This will actually pair you with your perfect online dating site or dating app. Also, do not forget to check out our free online dating opener formula. So this is actually going to triple your response rate on any dating sites or dating apps. It's completely free, so do not forget to check out the free dating opener formula that we have for you, which is going to be linked above me and found in the description down below. Also, now that you are just about done with this video, make sure to watch some of our other ones popping up on either side of me. And don't forget to answer the question of the day. What are some of your tips for sending and receiving DMs? But that is going to just about wrap up this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you liked it and subscribe if you loved it. And hopefully we'll see you here again on Online for Love. Thanks, bye!